I'm Mark from Snowy River Black Garlic, Australia's leading black garlic producer, and I can provide you with a natural alternative. Have you ever thought about food as medicine or the origins of your food? Even if you have or haven't, let me introduce you to black garlic. What is black garlic? It is aged garlic that has been processed in a specific way to provide maximum medicinal benefit. Unlike many health food products, it is a product that can be incorporated into everyday life and used to easily create amazing meals. In fact, it is highly sought after as a gourmet ingredient and is also known as garlic truffles. It is such a versatile product that appeals to gourmet foodies as well as health-conscious consumers. Currently, consumers have limited choices when it comes to purchasing this all-natural product that can be eaten daily. Australia's black garlic market is rapidly gaining popularity due to reality TV shows, increased use in high-end restaurants, and by celebrity chefs. In fact, Gary Meanion and Matt Preston visited us and commented publicly that it was the best black garlic they had ever eaten. The many health benefits of black garlic make it a perfect all-natural daily supplement. Research shows that the vitamin and supplement industry in Australia in 2019 was a $5.6 billion market, with herbal and traditional products totalling $760 million of this market. Exports of complementary medicines from Australia grew by 15% to $1.1 billion during the same period. This market is growing strongly and we expect it to continue as millennials age. Black garlic is supported by strong research on its many therapeutic benefits. It has twice the antioxidants of raw garlic and may be beneficial in the treatment of 14 types of cancers. This graph highlights global markets. The growth of health and medicinal food products is estimated to be the largest growing food sector in Australia. The global health and wellness food market size was estimated at US $95.56 billion in 2020 and is expected to reach US $104.27 billion in 2021 and projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 9.2%, reaching US $162 billion by 2026. Furthermore, the global luxury food market is estimated to be between 50 and 104 US billion dollars. And there's also a growing demand for single origin foods. Australia is in a prime position to take advantage of market growth. CSIRO industry research shows that globally, Australia is considered desirable as a clean and green brand. They identified driving megatrends to support industry growth were health and wellbeing products, sustainable solutions, and premium high-end products. So why Snowy River Black Garlic? Our product was awarded a gold medal from the Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria in 2019. We have strong profit margins across all our product lines. We have had a 150% increase annually in turnover up until the COVID-19 outbreak. As restrictions ease, we are positioning the business for future growth. We have established manufacturing equipment which is easily scalable and for future expansion, with current production capacity at 2.5 tonnes of finished product. We are introducing ready-to-use product lines which will utilise existing waste streams, further increasing efficiencies within the business. We have an established collaborative manufacturing partnership with Now Young, an organisation that provides meaningful employment for people of all abilities. So where to from here? We've received a number of export inquiries for our product lines from Japan, Singapore, and the US, but we need to satisfy their food technology and packaging requirements to enable market entry. We're seeking assistance with food technology services to meet this market demand and also assistance with marketing and distribution. I'm Mark from Snowy River Black Garlic, and I can offer you a natural alternative.
Hi, my name's Reese. I'm the founder and managing director of Natural Distilling Co. Natural Distilling Co. is a global first mover, cultivating, harvesting, distilling, and distributing award-winning hemp-based spirits. I created Natural Distilling Co. with humble goals to work with family and friends on something we can be passionate about, while also providing my young family with the opportunity of a rural upbringing, like I was fortunate enough to have. Humble values continue to guide us. We focus on global sustainability, committed to creating the best farm-to-bottle spirits using the most natural methods. We source local organic ingredients to create gluten-free, lactose-free, low-cal, sugar and preservative-free drinks. We offer consumers an experience and a community, not just an award-winning beverage. Globally, premiumization is supporting industry growth. Consumers are choosing quality over quantity to make an experience of their alcohol consumption. They're seeking clarity and demanding higher standards. This is generating opportunities to sell at higher price points. Our hero ingredient, hemp, actively reverses climate change, returning 4 times more carbon to the earth than trees. Sustainability is driving brand choice. Australia's largest retailers, Coles and Woolworths, have committed to becoming Australia's most sustainable supermarkets. Australia is at the very start of its perceived healthy alcohol revolution that has dominated the US market in categories like the seltzer. Combine natural premium spirits with sustainability and authenticity, you get a unique range that resonates with consumers pursuing a healthier lifestyle. This is supported by the sentiments of the largest alcohol distributors in the world. These are also the organizations that acquire rapid growth brands like Natural Distilling Co. We've created 4 unique, critically acclaimed core beverages that provide a comfortable yet unique twist to any consumer's preferred category. However, the so-called madman effect has caused a resurgence in whiskey consumption among non-gin consumers. So we've developed annual small batch brown spirit releases, promoting exclusivity and increasing average basket size, with further products in the development pipeline. The executive team has a diverse range of skills and strengths, including rapid growth, ROI-focused marketing, advertising, sales, and lean operations. The company is culturally growth-focused, ensuring we're well-positioned to execute and scale. We're also removing middlemen and increasing gross profit margin by employing our own dedicated sales and marketing teams, ensuring focus, passion, and a shared philosophy. We've partnered with a contract manufacturer who utilizes NDC IP to produce our spirit. This ensures low capex, unlimited scale, fast production time, high quality, and an opportunity to successfully test a competitive market. Our balance sheet is strong with over $875K in revenue in our first full financial year. We've developed 5 clear and delineated revenue streams with a focus on owned channels to increase gross profit margin and brand equity. A scalable local sales strategy has enabled our products to be ranged in over 800 stores in all states in just 18 months. We're the fastest brand from inception to hit the shelves of Australia's largest retailer, further demonstrating strong market fit and consumer demand. Our agility and innovation have enabled our annual growth rate to increase to 315% in spite of COVID and other short to medium-term market fluctuations. We've developed a compelling and scalable export strategy, working closely with Austrade in California, the UK, and APAC. Export represents a significant opportunity with a 40% increase in profit margin due to high domestic alcohol taxation rates and larger total addressable markets. However, our primary business success metric is customer stickiness and customer experience. Based on the size of the local market, if we can provide customers with compelling reasons to come back, like community, innovation, and quality, we'll continue to win the market. Vodka has become the backbone of the US spirits industry. The size of the vodka market in California alone is larger than the combined gin and vodka market in Australia. As a global first mover in the hemp and cannabis spirits category, we're also uniquely positioned to commercialize our IP and expertise by transplanting or licensing our grassroots model to other markets, drawing upon their local hemp to create stronger local brand engagement. To accelerate our growth, we're seeking strategic investment at an accessible revenue multiple. The Australian market has a strong appetite for storytelling through alcohol brands, which provides a robust environment for both crowdsourced funding and equity investment. As you can see, we're profitable and at the precipice of exponential growth. I definitely love any feedback or questions you have on my proposal, and thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Liz, the Efficiency Coach. I'm a business coach and accountant for small business based in Gippsland. I work with small businesses to make them more efficient and to improve their financial capability. I'm a chartered accountant with more than 15 years of corporate experience, and over the past 12 to 18 months working with small businesses, I've learned a lot, including that if they don't know their numbers, it's very hard to have strategic discussions or make business decisions that make economic sense. I'm passionate about small business owners learning more about the numbers behind their businesses so they can make better decisions, leading to more profit, more time, and more fulfillment. Small business owners don't know what they don't know when it comes to finance. It's in the too hard basket and always seems to be at the bottom of the list. People are scared of finance and money, and they lack the confidence and courage to make decisions. They may have an accountant or bookkeeper, but they rely on them for much more than their engagement letter states. An accountant is not going to be there on a daily, weekly, or even monthly basis to help make the day-to-day decisions needed to improve the profitability of their business. Each year in Australia, there are more than 350,000 new businesses created. That's a lot of small business owners as potential customers of mine. This opportunity has significant potential that I want to capitalise on. I've engaged with more than 80 small businesses over the past 12 months, maxing out my capacity to work one-on-one, which has propelled my desire to work with more businesses. And my solution allows me to work with many more businesses and share my knowledge with them in a more efficient way. I had a client the other day say, I love reconciling my expenses in Xero for my business now that I know what they actually mean. And another client of mine has worked out their annual revenue target and broken it down into a daily sales target that he has shared with his staff to keep on track. Essentially, my solution is to teach small business finance fundamentals to small business owners or non-finance managers. I've been doing this on a one-on-one basis for the last year, and I've come to the realization that more people need to learn these skills and have this knowledge to successfully run their businesses. 80% of this can be done by a simple transfer of information through an online classroom, pre-recorded, where they can work through the content at their own pace. That's what I want to build. From my experience, I've identified the main areas that are crucial for people to better understand their numbers. I would develop 5 one-hour workshops with the next steps opportunity to reach out for further individual sessions with me to further advance their financial capability. These online modules are the basics of finance in a sequence, starting with the basics of small business finance, tax and why you need finance in your business, the basics of Xero, reporting in Xero, and the last module being how to apply finance to your business. Over time, I would develop a whole curriculum for small business owners branching out from finance and good business operations. The initial online courses would be offered as a total package of 5 or as individual modules. They will be interactive and have an element of accountability so people actually learn and retain the information. I want these small businesses to go from little to no understanding to having a much better understanding of the fundamentals of finance that they can apply to their own business with confidence. Who's my target audience? They may be a small business owner based regionally or in the city who are looking to improve their financial understanding in running their business, or someone who is looking to start their own business. Business owners who lack the confidence around making financial decisions in their business and want to learn more, but are being held back by their fear of money and finances. That's who my courses are designed for. Finance is finance, so the basics are common for any business. This could include services, tradies, farmers, digital startups, and traditional businesses. It will suit a diverse range of business types, as well as a B2B service offering for online course content creation. I should be able to reach this target market by way of government organisations, membership organisations, partnerships, and online marketing. This leads me to my ask. I've got 2 asks for you today. The first being, I know that I have a lot to learn when it comes to the technical recording and production of these online course modules. I'm looking for a mentor to guide me through the process of the best way to record and distribute this content, to help me to make the right decisions about platforms. I want to create a great working relationship with the right mentor, and I'm committed to doing the hard work to make this a success. My second ask is that I'm looking for mentorship and professional engagement for marketing expertise so that my courses reach my target audience. I want to make sure I work with the right marketing company for me. I'm happy to listen and learn and get guidance so that my vision can be taken in the right direction. So today I'm looking for guidance in both areas to make my business idea a success. I want small business owners to have the confidence and courage in better understanding their numbers so they can make more informed decisions for them and their business. If you would love to be part of this exciting new venture, please get in touch. I'm Liz Fleming, the Efficiency Coach. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kayla Calvert and I'm the oldest of 4 girls. My younger siblings and I are planning to do a family microgreens business. Microgreens are 10 times more nutritious than mature greens and are packed with more vitamins and minerals for less money than mature greens. Microgreens you can eat with almost anything at any time of the day, if it's in a smoothie, salad, rinse, or add to a dish. Why am I doing this pitch? A great first business to have, our own income, good opportunity to learn business skills and social skills. There are many benefits of growing microgreens. We would like to be leaders for all young women. My siblings and I are really interested in having our own business and our own income. There's many benefits, and as a young Indigenous female, we want to show young women that they can do anything they put their mind to. Types of microgreens. We will start from 5 to 8 types of microgreens, and that's including native as well. We would like to work our way up with our growing production and trialing different microgreens to what suits us best and what grows best. Growing production, this is just some pictures to show you what we have in our mind, what we would like to see our business become. Where would our product grow? We would like to do this in shipping containers outside, not too far from the house, so that the microgreens are out of the weather and we don't have any animals or birds, insects getting to these microgreens. Grow, harvest, package and distribute. Growing will take place inside shipping containers. Microgreens take 10 to 15 days for most to grow. Produce will be placed into individual containers with our brand, design and sticker on the front of the containers. We will love to be able to deliver to businesses, and pickups will be available. Cost and materials setup, shipping containers, growing equipment, water, irrigation and electricity, seeds, work hours, packaging and transport. Everything we need for our cost and material setup will filter underneath these categories. Customers, we would like to keep it fairly local for the first, say, year or so of our business starting up. We'd like to do cafes, restaurants, pubs, and for anyone who wants to buy it straight for their families and for them as well. Marketing and branding, we would like to do a social media accounts, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, etc. We'd like to probably vlog our journey along starting our business, not just for us, but for other people as well to see. Also word by mouth by talking to the public and the community, friends and family about it, getting it around so people know what we would like to do with our business. How can people help us? Sponsor, willing to work with us and friendly. Also advice from people who do microgreens but also have their own business as well. I think it would be a really, really good idea. Me and my siblings being so young, starting a business quite young, to get advice from people that have been doing it for quite a while. And please support my family and our business. This is just some photos of me and my family on the farm. So thank you for listening.
It's so frustrating opening the fridge to find brown avocado, slimy spinach, and floppy lettuce, and it means households waste over $1,000 worth of food each year, contributing to a $20 billion food wastage crisis in Australia. And even worse, for all Australian students from K to 12, the cling wrap on their sandwiches could circle the earth almost 5 times every year. I don't want to be a part of these problems. While I'm busy, I get it. It's not a nice feeling contributing to them, knowing the impacts. Will my great-grandchildren be impacted by dealing with mess I leave behind? I come from farming roots in Gippsland. My late grandfather, a dairy farmer, often said, do what you do and do it well. So driven by my deep passion for nature and sustainability, I went looking for an alternative to cling wrap. Unfortunately, there was a lack of quality alternative wraps because no manufacturers have any relevant industry experience or skill set to achieve the perfect wrap. So while on maternity leave, I created my own wraps, drawing from my unique skill set, a background in science, food, and agriculture. After 6 months of research, trial and error, and many messes, the results were amazing. Even cut avocados stayed fresh for up to 2 weeks. So on my waxy kitchen bench in Gippsland, I launched Little Bumble in 2017 with no business experience, but a sheer determination to make a difference. I launched online with 3 local stockers and went to local farmers markets. 1 month in, and my business goals for the year were exceeded, and I could not keep up. At 6 months in, I employed 2 staff, and 12 months in, an additional 2. We generated $100,000 in revenue in the first year with 80% profit margins and 100% growth rates. Our passion-fueled bootstrapping adventure was off to a flying start. However, we were run off our feet and moved from my tiny kitchen into a commercial space and streamlined production. In 2019, we made 15,000 wraps and generated $250,000 in revenue. We grew our stockists from 40 to 100 and realised automation was the only way to scale. Then COVID hit. 75% of our revenue was from face-to-face events and only 25% online. We needed to quickly flip this. Grants helped us recreate business plans, boost online performance, and most importantly, secured automated machinery, which will double production capacity while creating a total uplift in profit by 360%. In the last 12 months, online revenue and custom rep revenue have both doubled. We have a high upward trend of returning customers and good conversion rates. This year so far, even without face-to-face events, we're on track to sell over 5,000 wraps and generate over 100,000 in revenue. We have a plan for the future and a good team who can carry forward operations. I'm the full-time visionary, hacker, and hustler, and have the full support of my husband, who is called on for HR and OHS-related assistance. My team consists of 2 dedicated part-timers and another 2 casuals called in for custom wrap orders and markets. Our automated machinery arrives soon, so we can keep up with demand as markets pick up. We can gain more stockists, like expanding our IGA stores and fine food exporters, and we can capitalise on growing demand for custom wraps from companies who want a sustainable marketing tool or gift. We've been mentioned by Choice's Food Wrap Stars and have a strong reputation and brand positioning for quality wraps. We are established to meet our market pipelines, but we are also positioned for capital injection. Our 18-month forecast will see us reach $400,000 in annual revenue by mid-2023. Little Bumble is ready to keep scaling, but in this, I need help. Firstly, capital. I'm asking for $100,000 to purchase digital textile printing machinery for strengthening custom wrap capabilities. I've got the momentum and soon the automation to get this growth phase actioned by 2022. I've created something special and I love the development stage of building a purposeful business. And I have some more exciting ideas I would like to explore. So here's my second ask. I need advisory board members passionate about social impact to help guide me through the great growth opportunities ahead. If you would like to be part of this incredible journey, let's talk. Thanks for listening to my journey. I would be wrapped if you all join me in taking the sting out of food and plastic waste. I'm Laura from Little Bumble, food storage that won't cost the earth.
ETCH Sparkling, alcohol-free sparkling beverages from Australian native fruits and herbs. Every time, choose health. Established in late 2019, ETCH champions the growing better-for-you drink sector, redefining sophisticated and refined adult drinks. Celebrating ancient Australian native plants, ETCH makes alcohol-free and sugar-free beverages. After a 2-decade career in the wine industry, coming runner-up Australian Young Winemaker of the Year several years, I followed by a merchant career across Australia, New Zealand and France. My career stopped short and finished because of my growing dependency on wine. I'm now approaching 50 and have decided to take an action on a renewed passion. The passion is about the principles of good health and inclusion. My wife Andy and I produce adult alcohol-free beverages for dining and social occasions. In Australia, we love the ritual of a drink at social occasions, dining occasions, when we celebrate, commiserate with friends, family and colleagues. It's the ritual of a drink that's so valuable to all Australians. Health and well-being is of great importance too. How we physically look, exercise, what clothes we wear, our diet, how we take care of ourselves mentally, our actions and practices we put in place on a daily basis. So to tie health and wellness to our adult drinking rituals, why then are adult drinking occasions and beverage solutions revolved around alcoholic options? When there's so many debilitating health and behavioural impacts, it doesn't always have to be like this. Why then are we wired to assume a drink means an alcoholic one if health and well-being is of such importance to most of our waking hours? The National Household Drug and Alcohol Survey, conducted by the federal government, shows that 20% of Australians didn't consume alcohol in the last 12 months. Alcohol consumption in Australia is reducing per capita. Well, where are the options? What if there were credible, sophisticated, adult-positioned beverages available for consumer choice? The alcohol category is once again leading the charge with replica styles. In the October Supplier Forum, Endeavour Group, the owner of Dan Murphy's and BWS, shared that their non-alcohol section grew fivefold in the last year. The world's largest brewer, Anheuser-Busch InBev, has stated that 20% of their revenues will come from non-alcoholic products by the year 2025. Well, we think we've found the true taste of Australia. We don't replicate a like alcohol category. We believe it doesn't have to look or smell or taste like alcohol to be a sophisticated quality drink. ETCH is the brand that can shift our Australian drinking culture by providing sophisticated, credible options for consumer choice for their occasions. Refreshing, healthy, clean, and sustainable. There are 4 key elements that ETCH delivers. We're alcohol-free, not replicating an existing category. We champion native ingredients in a beverage. Our drinks are no sugar from sustainable sources, from where the plants grow on local rainfall, local soil, minimal intervention. Early in our journey, we were fortunate enough to be reviewed by some of Australia's best palates. Max Allen of the Financial Review, Dan Stock from the Herald Sun. But what really makes us proud is the feedback we receive from our fans across our social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and our databases. ETCH Sparkling, alcohol-free, sugar-free, native Australian plant-based beverages. We operate in a growing broad consumer segment of 18 years and above, with a targeted group of 30 to 50-year-old females who are highly engaged at our early adopter base. Our relative price positioning for a single serve is $4.50, with margins for the retailer and the distributor through the supply chain. We're located in the better for you segment, the sugar-free or kombucha segment in your grocery store, or in the alcohol-free section in the liquor shop. The pull-through support is by digital awareness and communications that ETCH drives through broadening the no-alcohol category and the native plant-based category. ETCH is scalable. We're poised for growth, both domestic and for export. ETCH offers a unique and authentic brand product range to change what is adult beverage consumption in Australia and abroad. Thank you.
Well, hello, everybody. And on behalf of Rocket Cedar, I'm very, very proud to welcome you, the Gippsland cohort of 2021. Congratulations on all you have achieved, are achieving and will achieve, because I think the future is very bright with minds like yours in it. We don't have a lot of time, and we've got a lot of lovely great minds to actually tap into here. So what I would really love to do is ask you sort of a couple of questions, of the same questions each. And what I want to start with, after watching what you're all achieving in different ways with different products and different visions, is what the word community means to you. Because I think after what we've been through in the last 2 years, community is of the essence, I think, and building either small and local produce is of the essence, and everything we're doing is built around the connection that we have with the people immediately and growth, of course. But Mark from Black Garlic, Mark Johnston, could I start with you? I'm so impressed. I love Black Garlic. I love the flavour, and congratulations on all you're achieving. And tell me, what's community mean to you?
Well, it's a pretty big question. I mean, I think it can be as small as being surrounded by a group of really close family members. That's a community in one sense, but it's also the broader community. You know, like for us, it's about what we can do to help our little town. You know, I've seen decline over a number of years in agriculture, other industries within the region, and it's like, you know, there's always seems to be a hurdle for development. So it's what can we do to try and shift that, or to change the focus, or to, you know, to give change people's outlook on what's possible. So, you know, what we're trying to do here is take a small parcel of marginal land and make a successful business on it, you know, to show that we don't need the $2.5 million of prime real estate that sits directly below us, but you can have a piece on the top side and still make something of it, you know. So that's community. It's about, you know, and then we can bring people in, but it's also, you know, we use an organisation that works with people of all abilities to manufacture some of our products. So there's another sense of community. You know, we're providing meaningful employment for a marginalised sector of the community, and that's you know, it's a great feeling for us. But it's also providing those guys with you know, meaningful employment. So community is a number of things for me. You know, it's about the people who are my direct close contacts. They're my community. They're the ones I can lean on. But it's also the bigger picture. It's about what happens out there in the main street of the town and what happens around the town. So it's a number of things.
And I imagine if you're growing what you're growing, you like having a good meal together. And I think one of those wonderful ways of connection, which leads to a broader and stronger community, is sitting at a table eating beautiful food together.
Absolutely. You know, like we lead a pretty much paddock to plate kind of lifestyle, and you know, we got a lot of Melbourne. My wife's from Melbourne, so a lot of Melbourne-based friends who come and visit, and we can provide a meal that has a radius of 50 metres from where we sit to eat it. You know, like it's the garden.
50 kilometres?
50 metres. I've got lambs in the back paddock that are, you know, 50 metres from the back deck that I can harvest. You know, we've got the vegetable garden right there, so we can provide a meal, and, you know, everything's done on property. So, you know, it's those sort of experiences are fantastic, you know. So
Yeah, and really important. Thank you for all you're doing. And Laura Eddington from Little Bumble, we need to talk because I get annoyed at the cling wrap I use, and I try not to use too much, but that's another thing. Well done on all you're doing. Tell me about you and community. You've done some amazing work, and how do you perceive it?
So community for me, I guess that I was brought up in a very tight-knit community in Gippsland. So right from the get-go, I have family that are very involved with community and have so many different connections in so many different ways, and it's always been such an important part of not only my upbringing but my life now. And really having those relationships established with people where you can support each other, and it might not be in ways that you expect, or even if it's just someone on the sideline kind of cheering you on or just being there to provide encouragement. I think that community is just so important in everyday life. It's not just important for businesses, but I really feel like that when we can serve each other and help each other out, then we just all can gain so much from each other, and it just brings so much happiness. I love to see all the different collaborations and people coming together, sharing, whether that's ideas or just a meal or just helping each other vent at the end of the day. It's a great way to just have each other's backs and just be there for each other.
It is, and I think it's more, would you say it's more important than ever because of lockdowns and connection?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's certainly taken on maybe a deeper meaning now because after being separated from everyone for so long and only being able to connect in certain ways, and when we can get together face to face, it does bring on a whole new meaning that you never take a face-to-face smile for granted again. And it's just so incredible when we can give each other hugs, that it's just nice to have that connection with people.
That's beautiful. No, I agree. I think more good energy brings. I forgot about the energy from person to conversations. Being in Melbourne and all. But anyway, that's okay. Jason Quinn of ETCH Sparkling, tell me about your community, because you've built something from the life changes you made, and then to create ETCH and everything you're doing. Well done. Very exciting. And I've met Jason a few years ago, just off the record, or for the record, and you were just starting out, and we were trying to get the drink into different places, and you're just going gangbusters. So hooray. Well done.
Thank you. It feels like, I don't know about gangbusters, but we're a duck on top of the water. We're kicking pretty hard.
Well, gangbusters isn't really a technical word.
Yeah, we're going forward. That's the positive thing. I think for me, community in what I reflect upon is a bit of a movement. I think with the pandemic, there's been a movement in the community about caring about where we produce from. Provenance is even more important than ever. The quality of what we're sourcing, the authenticity and the ethics of our supply chain, all of those things come into some changes that I think have played out since the pandemic. And for us, we've actually got it's that important to us. It's written on our back label, where we say created on a foundation of health, inclusion and social conscience. And for us, that social conscience or community movement is really about that health and well-being piece. I think that is a global trend, whether you ride expensive push bikes or wear Lycra or care about what food you put in your body or whatever. That whole health and well-being has only dialed up.
Yes.
And so that social conscience about awareness, education, and then action on buying local, sourcing local, quality, that's all really important. So I think for me, that's probably my biggest reflection on community. And that's as an umbrella. And then within the umbrella, there's the sections of community. So we're really fortunate enough to play within the beverage sector. And we're seeing lots of micro changes within that macro environment around progress in different such as alcohol free, or such as drinking best but drinking better in other beverage categories. So there's micro changes there. And then, of course, with our native plant-based botanicals, we're seeing some wonderful changes in the culinary sense and also now in beverage. So social conscious movement is where I reflect on for community.
I think that's very, very, as you say, very relevant, and looking after each other. That's the essence of, I think, all the work everyone's doing is really looking after each other. And Reese, lovely to meet you, and well done on Gippsland grown hemp, correct? To make your drinks.
Yeah, correct. That's it.
Yeah. And lovely to meet you. And tell me about you and community. What does it mean in terms of, Gippsland, where you are, what you're doing?
Yeah, definitely. So I very humbly created Natural Distilling Co as a way to get my young family out of Melbourne and back to where I grew up. That was really the core driver behind the whole operation. So since then, very early on, we started what we've called a Founders Club as a way to build a community and reward family and friends that have supported us along the journey. And then second to that, critical to our growth and engagement and grassroots aspect of the business that we're trying to foster. A large part of our growth has been driven through regular attendance at community farmers markets, really all over Victoria. At these events, we're able to speak to customers. They can meet the founders, they can meet our partners and friends and family, and just get little bits of feedback, which drives future product innovation. We can test little things on them. It's really been excellent. I use a contract manufacturer to produce my products. So as a way to return value to my local community, we also donate money annually to Gippsland Farmers Relief, as well as Gippsland Lifeline, as a way to more or less put our money where our mouth is. Yeah,
very proactive and very supportive, obviously, of, well, Gippsland's lucky that you took the family back there, really. Is it, do you employ a lot of local people?
We have about 10 scattered here, there and everywhere in part-time equivalents, casual equivalents. There's no full-timers at this point, but we're growing quite quickly as well. Looking to bring quite a bit of that production, warehousing, distribution back to our local area.
That's brilliant. You must keep us in the loop of what's happening with natural distilling, well, with all of you. But yes, I would love to want to talk about your plans and growth as well. Liz Fleming, the efficiency coach. Let's talk about, how are you? Lovely to meet you.
Likewise.
Service industry, I am fascinated your community, or what community might mean to you, in that you're helping people with that really, really important part of business, the reason why we go into it, one of the reasons, but the bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and not enough people know about their bottom line. But I think community for me is, having grown up in a rural area in New Zealand and now having been in Gippsland for the last 5 years, community has been really important to allow me to even live here. When I moved here, I knew nobody. But 5 years later, to have a business based on community and my networks that I've created through that time has been instrumental to allow me to do what I do. And in terms of my business, I think it's showing that without a community, you can't do anything. And whatever community means for an individual, for an organization, because it's creating that trust and building that trust amongst those people, and taking the idea that working together, you're going to create more and achieve more by working together. And the clients that I work with or associated with, being able to get them to work together by saying, oh, you should talk to this person and go and help this person, and knowing the ins and outs of their business or what they're trying to achieve. And that's where my community comes in, and trying to create the efficiency coach community. And I'm actually working on developing a page on my website where all the associated businesses and my favorites of Gippsland and other businesses that I work with will be able to have that directory to be able to link to that community as well in a really streamlined and efficient way.
That's wonderful. Did you arrive in Gippsland 5 years ago, you said, with this, what you're doing now in mind? Was that part of your plan then?
No. So I'm a chartered accountant. I came to work in a coal mine at Loy Yang after being in oil and gas and energy in London and New Zealand, and 12-month contract, and didn't have any plans. And the plan was to go to Melbourne after 12 months, to be honest. And Traralgon, where I live, is the best of both worlds. Rural, 5-minute drive. I'm in the true country of the paddocks, and then 5 minutes the other way is the supermarket. So and then 2 hours to the city. So for me, it's my perfect life. So it's great.
Oh, congratulations. I think that's a really lovely segue into something I'd like to sort of ask you about when you talk about your perfect life, which is just a dream, I think, for a lot of people. You guys are working on, correct me if I'm wrong, but we could call them dreams. We can call them a great idea or something you wished for, hoped for, and you're doing it. And Mark, I'll come back to you if I may. How do you give a dream structure? In your case, black garlic. So we can get, as specific as that, but how do you give it structure to then move it forward?
Well, sort of for me with black garlic, I came out of oil and gas as well, and I, needed a career change essentially. And I always said I've always had an attraction to the land and things like that. So it's about, can I create something that'll give me a lifestyle that I want, and a life balance, work-life balance.
Yeah.
At the moment, that's heavily weighed the wrong way as a startup business, but
Sure.
Yes, hope it will. I mean, and it's difficult to create a structure in your work environment when you live on farm. Like, it's different to going away. If you work off site, you go away, you do your thing, you come back. So I'm not a really good one to preach structure when you live, eat, sleep in the one location. It's very difficult. Like, all our processing's done here, everything's here. So it's all too easy to walk out to the shed and quickly put an order together, or put it back together.
Active, as you're saying, because you're on a farm. So where there are so many different elements that actually would dictate to you how you can work. So you probably do need sometimes to just drop everything and go and fulfill orders and stuff like that. I guess I'm thinking more in terms of the dream and the structure. How is it something you imagined when you were in oil and gas that you'd be a black garlic farmer?
No, it wasn't. I always thought that I'd make enough money in oil and gas to be able to become a beef, or buy a bit of land and do something as a side stream, like to oil and gas, like have the lifestyle where I could make a few bucks. And at the end of the day, I had some change in life circumstances, and started again, went back to ground zero. And this was a perfect opportunity to go, well, look, I'm sick of the tools, and let's just have a crack at it, something different. So that sort of worked well. It was a good lead into that. So it's just a fresh start on everything, on every level. So
does that take a lot of courage too? Life's, picking yourself, rebuilding, and
yeah. But you've got to take the positives out of it too. It's not always a negative. Like, at the end of the day, like, it's those sort of environments where I was working, high pressure, high wages, just everything is sort of go. There's no, and you're at the end of the day, you're just a number in a big system that people, you can be flicked in a heartbeat. I've been in sites where people come to work, and there's a guy standing there to meet them at the gate with the check and says, see you later, like, we're done. And, do you need a taxi ride, or do you want us to get a counsellor to come out and see you, and all those sorts of things. And that's just how the system works. It's just the industry you're in, and it's full of highs and lows. And we're this way, you're in charge of your own destiny here, like, if it's up to me as to how good this business can be. If I put the effort in, I should get the reward. If I don't, then I won't. It's that simple. And it's kind of a nice feeling to know that when you're doing that 14-hour day plucking garlic out and you really hate it, but you're doing it for me. This is my choice. I'm going to get the reward from that. So it's no different to anybody on this panel here. We're all doing it for ourselves. And at some point, I'm sure we all want to be at a point where we can either handball the business and have somebody manage it for us, and then sit back and reap those rewards, or flip it and move on to something else. This doesn't have to be the end goal sort of thing. So I think it's about creating a work-life balance and having something that's going to be, a value to you. So
I think that's really exciting and satisfying, as you say, when you're doing it for yourself. All those boxes tick, and it's hard, but gee, it feels good, I think.
Oh, absolutely. With COVID, when we went into lockdown, for me, life didn't really change. I still had my farm and I could wander around without any dramas, and I could go to the post office and post product. Nothing really changed apart from markets and Melbourne visits and things like that. Obviously it affected sales, but for my day-to-day life, it didn't really change a hell of a lot at all. Where, my wife, who works in emergency medicine, she's, for her, it's been a huge change, she's emergency care, she's it's been dramatic for her, but, for me, I just get out of bed and walk out and scratch, have a look around and go and do my stuff. Not much changes.
No, it's perfect. Thank you. I love that. It's yours. It's all yours. And what about you, Laura, with in terms of creating the dream you had, where, and you said in your video, you took that, you had maternity leave and you had experience training in all these different areas and brought it together. The structure around a dream, it can be literal or it can be, like Mark's just shared, the fact he does have structure, but it's all there for him, at his doorstep. What about you? How do you build structure around a dream? So if anyone's watching this, I'll add, and thinking about starting an own business or doing something, where do you start?
Yeah, I guess I had quite an unusual start in that there was no structure early days. It was a problem that I had solved for myself in my own family home, and my family had encouraged me, to get it out there, and I really felt compelled to, take that out to my community. And I guess the structure started growing from there based on how, when I was engaging with the community and getting people's feedback and thought, that's when things really started to come together. And I started to form this structure on the fly, basically, and build something that was going to really fit the needs of all the different households within the community and how it would actually benefit them the most. So that was a major advantage, because I was going to all the community markets, I was speaking to everyone, and I would lose my voice going to all the local markets trying to figure out, how do I best give this legs so that it's going to have the biggest impact that I can, provide for households. So fairly soon after the first real month, I realized that there was that real need and demand there. So I had to really form more of the business structure quite quickly and do a lot of learning and a lot of trial and error. And there was many times where I didn't get it quite right, but I soon, it was just so valuable that I had so many mentors, even from the early stages, and honest community members that would really, put me back on that straight path that I needed to go on. So it was very rough and raw to start with, but soon, a couple of months in, because I had to get staff in pretty much straight from 6 months in, by that time I had developed something that, I could see was self-sustaining and was going to be able to give the community what they really needed.
How important is mentoring, in your opinion?
Incredibly important. I've had so many generous people that are just so talented and have had so much experience in different areas that have given up their time, especially in the early days when I had no business training. And so I was relying on, the generosity of people I knew, people I didn't know, that were willing to provide guidance and advice and share some of their experiences, whether that was successes or failures, so that I could really take as many gold nuggets from them as I could and implement them into my business, because it was growing quite rapidly at the start. I didn't have the luxury of having, you know, I couldn't make too many mistakes with the structure and how we progressed early days. So I knew that it was something that I had to get right pretty quickly from the get-go. Yeah.
Wow. Well done. And thank you. And Jason, I'll just talk to everyone again. What about you and building a dream and imagining when you decided to stop drinking and started making some very positive life changes? How did you start giving ETCH some legs?
Hilary, I guess my answer to this question is that it didn't start as a dream, it started as a nightmare. And I don't shy away from sharing my story, because I think it's really important to be able to label and talk about addiction or dependency or mental health, etc. So for me, having a 23-year career in the wine industry across Australia, France and New Zealand at the top of my game and developing a dependency on alcohol, that was my bottom out, my nightmare, which we then created something that we wish existed, which was adult beverages that were sophisticated and refined. And at the time, that was when I was coached and mentored by a local cultural leader down here about native Australian plants. And we put two things together about combining botanicals and alcohol-free. So really for us, our dream started with a bottom out.
Yeah.
But we dreamed.
Yes.
And then we did some action, and we sort of thought, if it's going to be me, it's got to be me. So we've got to take some action. And so from that position of looking at a gap in the market, knowing that it's not a conventional starting position, that to be an Aussie male in your 40s, and I'm just speaking personally here, obviously, and choosing to have a sober life, it's a going against the grain, to be quite honest. But the more that we looked into it, the more and more people are doing that. Now, the majority have an absolutely perfect relationship with the wonderful beverages that our beer, wine, spirits people make. It's just that a few of us cross the line, and others just culturally or generationally choose not to. So I guess that was the start. That was what the opportunity that we saw was that, well, if it's true that there's 1 in 5 choose not to, well, where are the options? And we thought we want to be a part of this movement to change some options and provide it for people. So to achieve our dream, we just saw the opportunity and took action. And I think there's lots of very clever people out there that have great ideas, but it's the taking action bit that is the critical one.
I agree with you, and I wonder if everyone here is talking today, there's a huge element of courage. I just wrote the word down, because you have to be, some people might say, a bit mad or a bit brave or very brave. You're taking a leap of faith in yourself. And as you mentioned, Jason, and I think there is a truth to the statement that when you do hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's up. So I applaud the support you had around you, obviously, as well, because things like that take support and help, and, like you say, mentoring and connection from all sorts of people and community. So I'm really impressed and in awe, and I just think being honest and authentic within your brand is only going to make more people take notice of it as well.
Thank you. Well, I think the authenticity piece is key, and I'm living the dream now. I'm sitting here happy, healthy. My son's next to me, on his computer playing games. So life is perfect.
Oh, the word "perfect's" come up more than once today too. I'm loving this. Reece, talk to me about you and your dream structure and growth, and, as you say, bringing your family back to where you wanted to be, but also how did you create the structure around Natural Distilling Company?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that there's any structure around Natural Distilling Company. No, my superpower is hard work. I'm not super academically inclined, and my probably a big weakness is when I experience a roadblock, I sort of think of that as an opportunity, because at that roadblock, there's also, you know, a fork in the road. And if one person goes down the path of pushing it on and treating it as an opportunity, there's probably 10 others that will stop and not push on any further. So I also am the general manager of a pharmaceutical cannabis company, as well as starting and running Natural Distilling Co. And I have 2 daughters, 18 months old and 3. So I don't really have any structure. I find I just get smashed in waves. And then there's ebbs and troughs. When things are crazy, they're crazy. I always try and prioritize different tasks based on sort of separate levels, and then carve out the time to come back and action the lower priority tasks. As Natural Distilling Co has grown, I've sort of realized the importance and seen the benefit of finding good people to help with very specific tasks, so that I can outsource some of those things, which has really helped me to find a little bit of structure. But at the same time, I work from home with both jobs, and if I'm in the middle of doing something very important and my 18-month-old wants to come and sit on my knee and talk to me, I just stop. So probably not a great answer to your question, but I'm definitely experiencing, I would say, growth pains at the moment, where the business is growing at a good rate, and I don't see any reason that we shouldn't be growing more every single month. So it's probably just a reordering of priorities based on different growth levers, different opportunities, as well as keeping a bit of a longer term vision of, you know, what we'll need to do in 6 months' time to fill a bit of a gap or a trough as well.
No, that's wonderful. Thank you. Great answer, purely because I think one of the emphasis, things I'm trying to emphasize is everything. This is all very personal, and this is you guys, whatever it is, whether it's structure or not structure, to actually hear from you guys about how the different approaches you take, how different an individual you can be to get your dream happening. That's sort of really, I think that's key, really important. So thank you. And Liz, last but not least, tell me about you. And I'm going to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, accounting, structure, numbers, spreadsheets. I'm thinking some structures there, but tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, there is some structure, yes, but I think for my whole career, nobody ever believed me that I was an accountant. So I'm definitely not your typical accountant, and sometimes I say I'm not a real one, but I'm fully qualified. So there's not many accountants that go into business coaching, and there's not many that have a rural background, and if, you know, and all the other stuff that I've done as well. But in terms of my dream, I think I always wanted to work for myself. And I think it actually comes back to being on the farm, when if Dad wanted a day in town, well, then we went to town, you know,
Yep.
and he could create, yes, there were jobs to do on certain days, but there were other days that you could be flexible and do what you wanted to do within reason. I think that's what I wanted. As much as I love the corporate world, the 9 to 5 was not my gig, being efficient and then still being there on a Friday afternoon, where I was like, hang on, I've done my hours and I've done my work. And the importance of the structure to a certain degree. So I always work with clients to say we need to create some structure 70-80% of the time to allow the 20-30% for your creativity, so it doesn't all just become mundane and back to a corporate type life. Because with small business, as we all know, there are very little boundaries physically, mentally, and it is just the way it is, and you either it or you don't. But I think it's also what everyone's talked about today in terms of what's important to you and what you value, and if that's having a Friday afternoon off or having a sleep in on a Monday, you're the creator of that choice and that freedom to a certain degree. And I think that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to, if I want to work till midnight to get something done, to have the next day off, well, that's my choice and no one's telling me otherwise. And I think for me, that's the big change and the big difference. So, and hopefully with no COVID or less COVID, we can do some more traveling and being able to work from anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you'd said to me what my dream working career would be like working for myself. I think I sort of thought it would be 4 contracts a year with a month holiday in between. I don't think it was actually developing a business, and definitely not working with small business. And that's just come out of actually doing some mentoring work a few years ago and following my passion, and then being able to use my unique skill set to help other small businesses. And a lot of that is in the food and fibre sector as well. So, yeah.
Oh, very exciting. I was just saying there's a lot of wealth and abundance within that whole freedom of being able to work on your own terms and in your own way. And with that, we have to wrap up. And but I am thrilled and honoured to have had the opportunity to talk to you all today. And on hooray for Gippsland. Gippsland is doing some mighty work, and you're all a testament to that. On behalf of Rocket Seeder, thank you, Gippsland Cohort for 2021, for being here. Laura, Mark, Jason, Reese and Liz, thank you, really and truly. And congratulations. And here's to a prosperous future and a happy one. What do you think? I'm all for that. Thank you again. My name's Hilary McNevin, and we're signing off once more from on behalf of Rocket Seeder. Thank you.